As usual, I must mess with camera. There we go. My camera is trying to fall onto the floor, and that would not be good. This video is going to be a lot about logic, and it's funny because the name of my camera is Logi, Logi. All that's missing there is the C. See what I'm saying? That was your joke for the evening. I'll be here all week. Probably will be here all week if I cannot get this camera straightened out here. Somebody's here. Is it Mary or is it Kathy? That's the question. Okay. Wow. Okay. Hopefully, sorry, I never have this much problem with it. I really don't need you looking at my lap. Hello, and happy Saturday to everyone here in La La Land, or should I say YouTube land, right? Not much difference, I suppose. Kathy, I knew it was you. How did I know? James, hello. Hello, James. Hello, Kathy. So, hopefully this is not going to be a long video because I'm seriously thinking about taking myself out to dinner. And the main reason that I would be doing that is I'm wondering if I'm even capable of having a sit-down dinner in public anymore. It's been so long since I've been out. So there you go. Okay, we got 3 people. Oh, and there's David, Kathy's little buddy. Hello, David, and how's it going? You guys are always here together, and I know it's bled through in several videos that you guys are chatting back and forth on Messenger while you're watching me. It's funny. So welcome, you guys. We're going to talk about logic. I can't even talk. We're going to talk about inevitable change. We're going to talk about my very exciting week of messages that came in some very unpleasant and somewhat destructive ways. We're going to talk about disengaging from commitments, and we're going to talk first and foremost about how much I love you guys. And I want to give a shout out and a thank you of support to all the people who have booked readings with me. And I have said this before, but I want to say it again. A large portion of what is brought to you through my YouTube videos is from readings that I do with you and others. You see Anna's leaving a little pile of something here for later. She's moved out on August 2nd, or sorry, July 2nd, but not quite moved out. Okay, let's begin. So, where to start? Food for thought, I suppose. Oh, hello, Dawn. Hi. Hello. Yes, I'm showing you my trashy background. I'm about to knock this computer on the floor. One moment, let me swivel my table. Okay. 10 minutes in, I about got this place set up, right? Know why the light keeps changing. So, change is inevitable and it leads us to growth and new beginnings. It is our job right now, and we should take it very seriously. Our adaptability in this time, in this energy, and in our soul's direction on planet Earth. This week, I learned some very valuable lessons. Hello, Mary, and welcome. Starting with this. Normally, when I landscape, I wear very dark clothing like navy blue or dark green or brown or black. The reason I do that is because my hands are constantly in the dirt and I am constantly wiping my hands on my clothes to clean my hands. And I don't have a maid, so I want easy laundry to go as easy and smoothly as possible, hence the dark colors. For whatever reason, this week, and you'll know this if you listen to my podcast with Dawn, I decided to wear hot pink and black pants. Thank God I wore pants this day. And a hot pink Barbie shirt that was pink, okay, which I never dress like that to landscape. So what ended up happening was I've worn pants twice in landscaping in the last 4 months. So when I'm called to wear pants, I always know there's a reason that I'm wearing pants. And it was hot and it was sticky and it was absolutely nasty. And I was wearing pants. So I'm working in this guy's yard. Luckily, he's only, Brandon's only 5 blocks from me. And he's getting ready to put the house on the market, and he has like a double lot, and there's beautiful trees along the whole property, but there's little baby trees coming up. So kept sticking my hand down in there and moving the leaves aside, because he only removes the leaves from the major part of his yard, and he doesn't get rid of the leaves. He kind of pushes them back on the fence line surrounding the trees. So I was going up one at a time, moving the leaves with my hand and saying, I'm sorry to disturb everybody. I'm sorry to take this little tree out, whatever, whatever. And so I get to the back corner of the fence and I don't say anything and I don't stick my hand in there. I stick the shovel in, I bounce one time, and before I know it, I am covered in bees. I have they're ground hornets, yellow jackets. I had a bee in my pants, I had a bee in my shirt, and they were stinging me as fast as possible. Now, bees in general, like any kind of bee, bumblebees, honeybees, they won't sting you unless absolutely they fear their life is in danger, because once they sting you, it pulls their body apart and they die. Anything in the wasp family or yellow jacket family, which is the wasp family, can sting you repeatedly and so is not quite so discerning about who they sting and why. So bees are on me. Luckily, my reflexes are extremely fast, probably from just walking and working out all the time. I start running like hell. Well, the guy whose house I was working at told me he was leaving for a while. I said, can you please leave the door open? I'm going to need to use the restroom. He said, okay, no problem. The cleaning lady's here, but I'll have her leave the door open for you. So I'm running dressed like Barbie away from the beehive. Of course, they can see me, right? I stand out like a flower because I'm wearing hot pink, and the bees are chasing me through the yard, and I'm swatting at them, which is a horrible idea to ever swat at anything in the wasp and bee family. If you kill or swat at a wasp or a hornet or a yellow jacket, anything in the wasp family, they then send out a pheromone that tells the hive to go after you. So this was a real fun day, right? It's already covered in sweat. Now I've got bees. I'm running with the shovel in my hand, probably not another good idea. And my adrenaline is going so hard. I'm like, if I don't calm down, I'm going to have a heart attack in this guy's yard. So I run as I'm being stung. I'm running to this guy's door to go in. I want to take off my clothes and make sure that I've got the bees out of my clothes. And when the maid left, she locked the door, so I couldn't get in. So I got in my car, not knowing whether there were bees in my clothes or not. And I drove 5 blocks back to my house and started putting baking soda paste all over my body, took half a Benadryl, and went back to work. Now, because it happened so fast, I wasn't sure that they were ground hornets. I could have knocked a tree. I wasn't sure where the nest was. Was it in the ground? Did I knock a tree? So I got about maybe 25, 30 feet away from the nest. I'm kind of peering over there, looking into the nest, going, okay, where are you? They saw the hot pink shirt and went after me again. Luckily, the second time I did not get stung. And I'm not allergic to bees, but I'd already been stung 4 or 5 times. And I'm not sure how many times you can actually get stung by ground hornets or yellow jackets without having to go to the hospital. So I was incredibly, incredibly lucky that I did not end up in the hospital. Like I said, I went home, took a half Benadryl, and I went back. But I knew that there was a message in this. So things have been amping up in a very explosive on my end way, but very ghostly on the other person's end. It's been a very ghostly exchange. And I'll tell you what I mean. So If someone offers you a job, you can say yes, you can say no. Someone asks you on a date, you can say yes or you can say no. I really, really, really do not like to be dishonest with people. And in talking to two other people about this, I realized that the human hive mind has a predisposed uh, disposition, if you will, to not saying the truth exactly, or maybe stretching the truth because you don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. So I've had this job. I took this job as Danny's landscape designer and slash landscaper. A couple of months ago, we've been working with each other. He mostly does grass, takes care of grass and things like that. So the other jobs were my responsibility. Selling jobs to new clients, doing bids, all of that was my responsibility. So the more we get into summer, the more he's into the lawn mowing part of it. And so while the first 2 months of us working together, we were working together pretty much, every day or 3 or 4 days a week, side by side, working together, doing these jobs together. He's a great person to work for. He's very deserving of a loving, amazing partner, but it's not me. Now, I've never really experienced this in my life because prior to this, if anybody ever liked me, they just said, "Hey, I like you. Do you want to go out?" And again, you have that option then to say yes or to say no. But so the question is, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there are so many people experiencing this some way personally in their lives. So this is what I call a phantom problem. How do we maneuver through a phantom problem, right? How do we address the ghost, or how do we address the unspoken elephant in the room? Okay, so it's become readily apparent that this man likes me a lot or is in love with me or whatever. So he messages me a couple weeks ago and says, "I'm out to eat. Can I please bring you something? It's Saturday night. We can hang out." And I said, "No, I'm busy." Um, and I was busy. Actually, I was painting the dining room. So I was honest about that, but it started to make me feel uncomfortable. Then when my cousin passed away last week, he messaged me and said he was debilitated from my cousin's passing away, and that he was going to take a couple of days off work and all this. And I really, was as honest and to the point as I could be, that I understand that you're empathic and that you care about other people, but you can't let something that happens in my life, or in your children's life or in your neighbor's life affect you so deeply in that way. You have to find a way. You have to learn to maneuver through and around other people's pain, because if we don't, we absorb it, we sit in it, and it becomes our pain. And I have taught myself how to, maneuver through that, how not to do that. And that was really important that he learned that. So I felt like I dealt with that in the best way possible. But initially, when I started working for him, it was, "Hi, how you doing? Here's our schedule for the week. This is what time we're starting. This is where we're working." As of 2 months ago, he stopped doing that. So this is what I mean. How do you disengage, or how do you approach the ghostly elephant in the room, or the phantom problem? How do you maneuver through a phantom problem? Because if he asked me out and I just said no and he wouldn't let it go, then I could address that. If he asked me out, period, I could just say no, I'm in love with someone else. I could address that. But right now, what he's doing is he's being really super controlling, and he's being really super manipulating. And the reason why I'm telling you my personal story is because I know that we are all going through this. And I asked advice from my stepmother, and I asked advice from a lady that I've been friends with for many, many years, that lives up the street that I work with. And, I just want to say, it's really super, super easy for people to just tell you, like my friend of 8 years said, "Well, just tell them that you're dating someone else." Well, that's a lie. I'm not dating someone else. And I shouldn't have to tell you that someone else, to me, it feels like an inappropriate crossing of the lines. Okay. So to me, when my cousin died, this man was acting like he was my husband or my partner. Now, I'd expect my husband or my partner, or like, my dad's, partner of 28 years, I would expect them to react in this way. But he, he because he acted in this way and said the things that he did, it made me completely and totally uncomfortable again, but not being honest, just kind of beating around the bush about it. And then when I really backed off because I wasn't sure how to handle the situation, then came the, meeting you was the best thing that's happened to me all this year, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know why it's so hard for people to be honest. I didn't want to hurt, his feelings. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. But it takes a toll on us when we want something and we want to offer someone, even if we have no idea if that person's going to say yes. Again, it could be a job, it could be family situation. In my situation, it's my business partner. And it was extremely uncomfortable for me, and I don't know how to deal with it. Again, the reason I don't know how to deal with it is, to me, it's a phantom problem or the ghostly elephant in the room, right? Because he hasn't asked me out. He hasn't said, hey, I like you, whatever. He's just acting like somebody I've been married to for 10 years. That's how he's acting. And so it disturbed me on multiple levels. Now, I don't know that he is trying to be manipulative or controlling on purpose. But, and like I said, initially we were working together every day or several days a week. And so he was around me. Now that he's not around me, instead of sending the message like he always did that said, good morning, here's our schedule, here's where we're working, here's what time we're meeting, here's what's going on, here's the game plan. He was a great communicator. Now I'm just going to say, good morning. And then an hour later, I'm going to say, how's it going? And then how was your day? And it goes on and on and on and on till it's 30, 40 messages. And I got to the point where I just started taking 5 hours to respond or waiting to the next day to respond, because it wasn't really business related, and he's a business partner, not a love partner, which is what he's acting like. And again, I'm not sure if he's aware of it. And so that's why I was asking for advice. How do you deal with the phantom situation or the ghostly element of having someone being in the energy of acting like your partner, or controlling or manipulating like they're your lover, when nothing could be farther from the truth? So hidden motives and sometimes very intense distraction, right? And it's just been escalating from there. He had a new client he wanted me to meet. He's been talking about this new client for 6 weeks straight. And I said the only day I have is Wednesday or Friday, and he tells me he's not available. And I say, do you really feel like it's necessary that you are there as the go-between, the liaison, so I can meet this person and have a discussion about their yard? And it went on for hours and hours and hours. Now, this was the day before I got myself into the hornet's nest. And somebody else in my life is also probing the hornet's nest. In my case, I feel like I'm the hornet's nest, right? Working to be positive and change the mindset of my own life so that I can affect the hive and the whole of humanity. And the two main people in my life have been picking at me or shoveling into my underground, hornet's nest or phantom pretend, fake reality until they get a reaction. And both of them got a reaction. Let me tell you, I'm not here for people to manipulate me or try to distract me. And you shouldn't be here for the manipulation or the distraction either. I just know, like I said, it's hard to address a problem that's a phantom problem. Now, do I address this because I know how that person feels and they're acting really, in my opinion, what's shady? If you're in love with me or you like me that much, you need to just say something about it, ask me out, and give me the option to tell you, instead of doing what I feel like is controlling and manipulating my time and being somewhat aggressive. And both of these situations led me directly to the hornet's nest. Now, I talked a lot about us taking our individual quiet time in my last video. And the reason it's so important to do that is if I had gotten disturbed by the two individuals in my life, putting their shovel into my personal space, into my hornet's nest, um, I don't know, maybe things would have been different if they weren't both pushing on me at the same time. And it's so like either one of them or the other one is texting me all day long. In the last video, I talked about the extreme importance of when you feel a purging coming up, or a lesson, or a theme, or some kind of wisdom that's coming through to assist you with something, right? Everything has symbolism. That's when you take the quiet time. So when I felt aggravated, I felt poked, like someone was poking at my bee's nest, I could have easily, had a glass of wine. I could have easily done other recreational things. I could have turned on the TV and said, you know what, I'm just going to drown out everything that's going on. But I decided not to do that. I just decided to sit in silence, or I would have never been able to process what it's about. So yellow jacket symbolism. So yellow jacket symbolizes illumination and personal power, assertiveness, and teamwork. The yellow jacket tells the story and gives the theme that change is inevitable, and the change leads to growth and new beginnings and adaptability in your surroundings. Also, on a lighter note, don't wear bright colors to work in the yard. Don't wear any bright color, especially something orange, pink, red, yellow, that purple that could be associated with flowers. Now, an interesting thing which I tried to look up and did not find an answer to was the next day when I went to work with bee stings, basically sporadically placed all over my body. I had a problem with the same bees. Now, yellow jackets don't usually bother me. In fact, nothing usually bothers me when I'm outside. But the yellow jackets would not leave me alone the next day. It's almost like they recognized the scent of their own venom, or their own distinct pheromone that came from the hive of yellow jackets. And so after a couple of hours of intense sweating and cutting these major line of bushes, I was like, okay, I'm not even going to swat at the gnats anymore. It's just driving me crazy. I mean, I'm just sweating so bad. I've got tree shrapnel all over me. I feel like things are crawling on me. I know things are crawling on me, and I decide I just can't swat it, try to shoo anything away. And on my kneecap with the stinger raised, about to go in. And again, I think they recognize the pheromone or the scent of the hive, or hive mentality, or what I had gone through yesterday. I don't swat at wasps, don't ever kill wasps. As I said, if you swat at a wasp or anything in the wasp family, which is all hornets and yellow jackets, they send a pheromone to the hive, and the whole hive will come after you. So don't ever do it. Okay? So, leading me into the next topic is disengaging from any prior commitment in your life that is based on logic. I have to do this because it just makes logical sense to do this, right? I'm not saying we don't use logic, right? We're working on our balance, on our Libra scales of balance here. So it is our job to work on our equilibrium, to be balanced within our own body's energy. But it's time for us to disengage from commitments that are solely based on logic. When we have a commitment, it should be based on a lot of things. And yes, there should be logic somewhere involved in that equation. But the place we're working, me working for Danny, doesn't seem really logical with this going on. I'm going to sit with this for a couple of days until I decide exactly how to handle it. Because when I was talking to, I call her my stepmom, and they're not married, but they've been together like 28 years. So what's the difference? She's a mom to me. So I asked her about it. She's one of the most Zen-like people, her and my dad, that I know. And she starts telling me, we just weren't raised to deal with how do we engage with things when we know because of our intuition or we feel what someone's going through, but yet they won't say anything. How do we even address it? And so she went through all these things. And she started out by saying, we're not taught this. And, this is my last day of being 69 years old. Tomorrow I'm 70. It's something that I struggle with. I don't, know what to tell you because I struggle with it a lot on my own. But 10 minutes into the conversation, she had some amazing advice for me. And that was, maybe reach out and just say, with next time he messages you, that I am very appreciative of our working relationship, how well we get along, how well we are able to collaborate and communicate. But this is just a business partnership to me, straight up and forward. And I thought that's a really good thing because my other advice was like, lie, tell them you're dating. So I don't want to lie. Why is it so uncomfortable for us to initiate things? Because if the person asks you out or the job, wants to hire you, whatever, you just have that opportunity to say yes or no. The thing is, again, it's all about our logic. Where are we with our logic? Disengaging from the logical is very, very hard, even though I'm a water sign and almost my entire chart is water, right? So I deal with everything on an intuitive and emotional way, not a cerebral way. And not that I don't think about things or look up symbology or learn many lessons from the amazing readings I had with you guys. But my natural flow, my natural rhythm as a water sign times a million is to base my reality, my decisions, and my communication with people based on what I feel coming from them, which I will tell you has not always worked out well for me. But how otherwise do we engage with an elephant in a room or a phantom problem? Because if that person's not asking you out or that job's not trying to hire you, how do you go to them and turn someone or something down that is not in 3D reality offering you anything, right? So I'm just now, making a larger connection to my situation and what I've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks with this business partnership. I'm making more, much more of a connection to it than I initially was. So disengaging from prior commitments, I may need to consider doing that are based on logic and logic alone. So this is personally and on the world stage too. Again, why is it so hard for us to say, I feel like this is happening? I am intuiting that this thing is happening with you, and I need to, tell you how I feel about it or how this makes me feel. So I didn't make the connection quite until now. As you know, I've been talking about it for a couple weeks. I think we have 1 week left in Libra, and we're going into Aries, which I simply have told you and many times is just about me, 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 me. What do we want? Or on the world stage or the macrocosmic view, you could say, what do we, the people, want? Not the establishment, the government, the Illuminati, however you want to look at that. Okay, so nodal placement, whether you believe it or not, doesn't actually make a difference. Okay. Nodal placement affects the entire planet, both individually and as a whole, or as a hive. Okay. I dug into the hive. That was part of my issue. I dug into the hive that I was not given or warranted a 3D reason for doing that. And we know how that ended up. Okay. So Libra, that's the energy we're leaving behind after 18 months. This will, as I mentioned before, go all the way back for the last 17 years when we were in Libra Aries combination at that time, the contracts, the decisions, all of that. So that will be coming up for a revisit with you. Now, The energy of Libra is all about fairness. It's all about balance. But more than anything else, it's the most intelligent placement in the entire zodiac. So the energy of Libra then is very, very cerebral. So for the last 18 months, we would have been in this energy of using our logic and our brain power to run our lives. Now, this is what is changing. The energy for me has been here for months. Okay, so Libra, again, I'm just to make someone happy, just to keep the peace, just so I can keep a job with this person. I'm not going to let this person be controlling and manipulative, whether it's because their abandonment issues or whatever. We're grown adults. You got to set up and put out there on the plate of reality and offer whatever it is that you're wanting to offer, whoever or whatever it is you're wanting to offer to someone, and not worry about what the outcome is going to be. Okay. Get out of the brain, out of the logic. Well, what if this person says no to me? What if this person doesn't like me? What if this person no longer works for me? Whatever the things are running through my mind, your mind, our minds as a hive, right? Because I'm saying the hive because all of planet Earth is going through this. We're out of the energy of negotiation, taking one for the team, and individually moving into our personal power so we can take charge and go into the direction that we want to go. So for the last 18 months, the entire planet has been using their brain power and their logic to make decisions or stay in decisions or stay in commitments um, that are solely based on logic. But now, and the energy is already here, we are, so life now lives in the energy of the flip side of that coin, which is Aries. So Aries is the energy of taking your individual power back so that you can make the centered choices that you learned in the Libra energy, right? Being centered, being balanced, Libra, Libra, Libra. So you can take that, move into the flip side of the coin of this energy, right? And power back to make centered choices that are best for you, regardless of the whole external reality or the hive. Okay. Luckily, the bees must have made that decision, or it just was my lucky day, and I just happened to be wearing pants. I could go on and on and on. I ended up with 4 or 5 bee stings. Okay. I looked up, when I went to look up the symbology today, I got all kinds of crazy things like extermination, and you can easily die from a hornet's nest. So I'm glad I wore pants, and I'm glad I got the symbolism and the message of that, and not 100 bee stings that landed me in the hospital. Very, very grateful for that. What is it going to take for you to pull your power back into your body, regardless of phantom situations, regardless of external influence, regardless of other people's opinions, or irregardless to the hive mentality and what people think is acceptable or what people would tell you to do? Because I can guarantee, when I have a personal issue, I usually don't discuss it with anybody. I may talk to you guys about it, but I don't go around asking for multiple people's advice. It looks like his car that just pulled in my parking lot, and let me hope that is not the case right now. So what does it take us to pull into our personal power, regardless of what's happening in our external reality? Okay. So in short, the importance of the next 18 months energy is that we are going from the energy of thinking to doing, which is very, and I know not everybody likes tarot, okay? But the Aries representation of the energy of Aries is represented by the Emperor in the tarot. The Emperor in the tarot is number 4, representing solid foundations, making a decision, taking action, and moving forward. Now, the energy of the Emperor is, yes, Tina, I will listen to your input. I will listen to what you have to say. I'll take that into consideration. But know that I've made a sound decision, or what feels like a sound decision for me. I'm moving forward, and I will not be swayed by external, by the hive mentality or by any external influence or manipulation. So We are releasing the cerebral Libra energy and moving into the fiery, passionate energy of what serves me, regardless of the external whole or the hive. Okay. We're done thinking about who you love, where you want to live, what job would light your pants on fire, so to speak, light your soul on fire, however you want to look at that. Okay. Maybe those are switched. That should have been backwards, I guess. But either way, what lights you on fire? What's your new direction? You have to make the decision, not block people out externally, but let people know in your life and even know within yourself that you pulled that power back into you, that you've made that decision. You're going to do it. You're going to stop thinking about doing it and doing it. Okay. So the Emperor in tarot is literally represented with the representation of the sign of Aries. Okay. So it's time for us to stop thinking, get out of the brain, overthinking, right? For many of you, it's overthinking, not just thinking. I think I smell something burning. That's what they used to say in the 80s. Some of you might be too young to remember that. So out of the energy of thinking and into the of doing, because destiny favors the brave. Okay. And so the Emperor energy in the tarot and the Aries energy of the Emperor is all about being in this energy that supports bravery. The 18 months of energy from now until 18 months from now supports the energy of you being brave. I want this job even without this education. I want to ask this person out, even if I think they're, out of my league, or maybe they're seeing someone I don't know, whatever. We don't sit there. If we sit there and think about it forever and ever and ever, right, we'll never bring magic into our lives. And all we can do is stay stuck in our brain, in our logic. Okay. Thinking is no longer enough. I must do what I want. You must do what you want. Thinking is no longer enough. Stuck in your brain. Overthinking is no longer enough. We must do what we're called to do by soul. We must rest our brain. Okay. Absolutely. The brain needs a rest, and we need to let the soul be the seat. Okay. Behind the wheel, driving this Merkaba, driving this life, driving your energy field. Okay. So 18 months of energy from now until 18 months from now. Faith over logic, determination over logic, love for life, passionate direction over logic, doing something over sitting around and think instead of thinking and overthinking. We're switching from logic, okay, to taking a chance on our destiny. And the energy is so supportive of this. Now, this also lends itself to this subject as well. There are people in your surroundings, okay, family, coworkers, and the like, that are looking at you saying, why are you so bright? Why are you so shiny? Why is your energy so happy? It must be nice to have a perfect life. It must be nice to have everything you've ever wanted. Well, I'm far, trust me, from having everything I've ever wanted. It's just that I know that my attitude and the attitude that I present to myself completely alone at my own dinner table, right? Or out in public, or the way I present myself or represent myself to you, to my neighbors, to my coworkers. That is important, not because I'm trying to externally fake it, but because it's important for me to be in the energy and happiness and joy if that's the direction of my life. Now, unfortunately for me, what happens sometimes is people interpret that as you're joyous because you're around me, or you're happy because your life is perfect. Okay, there are many things, as I said, that are far from perfect, and I don't have everything that I want. But talking about the things that I want that I don't have, to you, to my neighbors, to the general public, right? It's not conducive to knowing that the authenticity of the life that is driving from the seat of my soul is coming to me, because I'm a magnet to that, because of that happy energy. So what is happening to so many of you is other people that, for whatever reason, maybe they're just having a hard time, some sort of difficulty right now. Their light is dim, or their light is maybe turned off, or it's not as shiny as it could be. They're not as joyous as they could be, or they perceive you as being more joyous or more shiny or more lit up than you. And so what is coming in external reality right now from those people looking at you like that is, how dare you shine your light when my light is broken? Okay. And I know for empathic people, when we're around that, whether it's spoken or unspoken, we go back to the phantom reality again. Um, we have to shine our light no matter what, even if it means someone's going to think. And I want to tell you that I told a friend of mine, I told him that my flirt was broke, and he said, "Yeah, I don't really think so. I don't doubt that. I doubt that very much, because you come across in videos as a flirt." So I come across as a happy person that wants to drive my life by my passion and the seed of my soul. And sometimes people misinterpret that, and then they are disappointed or not happy with the fact that I would shine that light for everyone. Okay, so if I'm only shining the light for the person that I'm in love with, and that person is not here right now, what does that do for my surroundings, my energy, and my own life? It doesn't do much of anything positive to change my reality, to magnetize the reality that I want. Okay, so it's hard for people to discern that or understand that, because if you're a shiny, happy person, they think that it's because you're in love with them, or you want to work with them, or if you're walking down the street smiling, somebody just assumes that you want to get in the car with them or take a ride with them, go out on a date with them. And I've always said, if you have your heart turned on in your body, you know the difference when you're driving by. You know the difference between seeing someone that's a hooker looking to score drugs, or looking to pick someone up, as opposed to an athlete. Okay, by the way they hold their body, by the way their character and the way they carry themselves. So, but unfortunately, some people just decide they want to take a chance sometime. So that whole thing, how dare you shine your light so brightly when you're not in love with me? How dare you shine your light so brightly? Being here talking to me about this possible job, if you don't want the possible job. How dare you shine your light so brightly when mine is dim? But we have to, because if I only saved that beautiful, shiny, exuberant light for the person I was in love with, what kind of example would I be setting for my whole energetic field, my house, my neighborhood, or any of you? It's very important to think about it that way. I act like that person is already here. I cook the meals like that person is already here. I work out like that person is already here. And tonight, I'm taking myself out to dinner after this video like I'm already living the life of my dreams. And I will continue to shine that light despite how it is interpreted or misinterpreted by other people. The thing is there are not that many people living that way. So our equilibrium or our mood has a tendency to go up and down all day long, fluctuate, right? I'm doing the dishes. I don't like doing the dishes, so my energy is tanked. Oh, my best friend called and I love talking to him. Therefore, my energy is back up again and I feel good. You're going like this, bing, 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 all day long. It's not good for you. The best thing we can do for ourselves is stay in that moment of joy and creation and shininess, and with every person and in every situation, despite the fact that sometimes that gets misinterpreted, and then we end up in a phantom situation, where it's sometimes hard to be honest. My dad's partner was making a joke and saying, "I know, why don't you just poke them and prod them like a bear and get them to ask you out?" And I said, "Oh, I should poke and prod and, exasperate the situation so they'll ask me out so that I can just turn around and say no." And anyways, we got a good laugh out of it. So I would never do that to anyone. But you and I, us as a whole, this planet will never align with the truth of our true direction, okay, if we are faking it. So a lot of times we fake it. Maybe we have a dating profile and we go through all these things, or we just, describe, what we think is popular, right? People do that. And I haven't been on a dating site, and I can't even remember. I think maybe early 2000s, I was on a dating site. And I was astounded by the people who were or were not open, honest, and transparent, right? Until I ran across this profile from this man who messaged me and said his idea of the best life was living in his paid off trailer, bowling every Friday night, and cooking for the love of his life so that she didn't ever have to be in the kitchen. Okay. There's nothing wrong with living in a trailer, and there's nothing wrong with your love for bowling. But the thing is, that guy had absolutely the right idea. I'm going to say exactly who I am. And I told him, I'm not interested. We don't have anything in common. But you are so brave and so awesome for saying exactly who you are and exactly what you want, because you're going to find that person with so much integrity and so much speed compared to the people out there that are faking it for the sake of going on a date, right? You may think someone is attractive or, smart or brilliant or whatever it is, but if you can't open up and be honest about who you are and you have to fake it, that's not going to last very long, right? I'm going to know a couple dates in that you hide from the sun and you're like a vampire and you don't like to walk and you hate the water. Well, we're incompatible and it's never going to work. It doesn't matter to me how much money you have or how good looking you are or how sparkling, or charming your personality is if we have nothing in common, because I want to live the life I want to live, the life of my dreams. And that is living the life in the absolute joyous, soul driven seat of my reality. Okay. And for me, that's water and that's sunshine. So while I'm sure there's many people, we can tell by the goth clothing respike in popularity, that want to date a vampire, Tina Hammond is not one of those. Okay. As Ariana Grande says, thank you, next. But anyway, my point is open, honest, transparent, whether it's a job interview, whether it's a coworker situation, whether that's your dating profile. No matter what that is, we only can get so far while trying to fake it. We should never, ever fake it. And that's why I was talking about how do we address a phantom situation, okay? Because it's not phantom. We feel it, we intuit it, we absolutely know it. Within our body sends us signals and tells us things about people, about situations all the time. We know it, but it's hard for us to address it until someone else addresses it. We have to change the way we look at that and have to put ourselves out there. And trust me, I know it's difficult. Like I said, this has been going on for several weeks now. So it's not something easy, but we will never align with our true partner or a true job, um, our true friendship dynamics that are most healing and beneficial to us if we can't put it out there and say what our dreams and goals and aspirations truly are outside someone's financial situation, looks, or charm. Okay. Not saying that every woman doesn't like to be charmed. Of course we do. I'm not saying, we absolutely have to be attracted. I'm saying you have to be who you are, like the guy that said, I like to bowl every Friday night and I want to cook these amazing meals so the woman never has to go in the kitchen. And I said, thank you so much for being open, honest, and transparent. I do not want to go out on a date with you. And the reason I don't is because I really am not a fan of bowling at all. And my favorite togetherness activity, one of them, is being in the kitchen and cooking with someone. But you're going to find absolutely this amazing person that wants to sit in the other room while you slave over a hot stove. I'm proud of you. So go for it. It's really easy for us to go along with a crowd. It's really easy for us to go along with a hive. Okay. It's harder for us to be ourselves. It's harder for us to address phantom situations and all of that. Sometimes people have hidden motives, and sometimes people have hidden distractive intentions for you. Part of that is shining that beautiful light that you are. Okay, there will always be distractions. There will always be hidden motives. And I don't ever need to get mouthy or tell people to, suck an egg or anything else. Okay. When they get like that, I can just simply say, this is what this is to me. And this is the only thing that this is to me. It was incredible. It's incredibly hard for me to do it. I haven't done it yet. Okay. I've been kind of doing it in a non-transparent way, and just kind of like backing out of that. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? And just simply responding to the things that are about work and not responding to the personal things, because I really was having a hard time knowing what to do with it. And then I got myself in the middle of a bee's nest, and then I had a show with Dawn. And now my cousin's funeral is coming up on a Monday, and I'm doing the casket spray and all of that. So there's been a lot going on. And it was a good thing because I needed time to think about it, feel into how I should go about this, okay? At the root of everything for us right now, we know and we feel what is a match in our frequency. And so we're being asked to disengage from distractions and disengage from manipulation, because we feel what is our match on earth and where that match of frequency is taking you, with people, with locations, with jobs, with new endeavors, with all of it. We know what our frequency match is. And anytime we spend any amount of time entertaining anything, because we're bored, because we're lonely, because I'm hungry and it's Saturday night and I want to go out on a date, right? When we do that, we push what it is, our true desire, away instead of going forward to it. Okay, so mindful of the distractions and mindful of the people manipulating you. It's easy to go along with the crowd. It's harder to be yourself. It's harder to stick up for something that's a phantom situation and say, I feel like this, and this is what this relationship, or this is what this job, or this whatever means to me. And that's it. That's the bottom line. We know what our matching frequency on earth is. We know where it's taking us. Our soul is calling out to us at this time. Okay. We did not, I did not, you did not, the hive of humanity did not come here to suffer or sacrifice our dreams for anyone or anything. You didn't come here to suffer. And sometimes those phantom situations can make you feel like you're suffering. Sometimes those commitments can make you feel like you're suffering. The next 18 months is about you and I and we and unity, the whole of humanity, the whole hive, returning to love, speaking up for what it is we want, what we desire, and where our future is going. If someone loves you, if someone is in love with you, truly in love with you, if someone truly loves you, they will never be angry that you need time and space to heal yourself and your life. Okay. For whatever that, if that means, you're going on a sabbatical in the mountains for 2 months and you're not talking to anybody. Whether that means the love of your life isn't going to hear from you for 3 months. Whether you have to, whatever it is you have to do. If someone loves you, if someone truly loves you, they will never be angry. They might be disappointed. They might be sad. They will never be angry, and they will never hold a grudge. And there will never be a lack of forgiveness if you need time and space to heal yourself and your life. If someone is truly in love with you, when you're done healing yourself in your life, that person will still be there for you. Okay? You do not owe an apology to yourself. You do not owe an apology to me. You do not owe an apology to your family. You do not owe an apology to the hive of humanity for getting in the driver's seat of your soul's path. Aries energy for the next 18 months is the Emperor and Tarot. He sits in his throne. He says, this is the plan. This is my course of action. I will listen to anyone who opens their mouth and speaks to me, but I will not be derailed. I will not be distracted, and I will not be taken away from what it is that I feel is my rightful path on the soul's journey. Apology to no one for your healing time, away from family, away from work, away from technology, away from anything. You owe no one an apology for getting in the driver's seat of your soul's path. If someone loves you, someone is in love with you, they will not only understand your need for soul path alignment, they will also see it themselves. They will feel it themselves, and they will see and feel, if they're in love with you, your need for personal change, and they will support you. They will back you up. They will do whatever it is for you, even if you disappear in the mountains for 3 months and don't talk to them. Okay. The person that is in love with you is not going to be angry about that. It's not going to say, you know what? I guess that's not my person because they chose to go in the mountains. I guess it's not my person because they chose to put a pause on our relationship or our life in order to heal. Because if you truly love someone and they love you, they recognize your need to heal and be on your and course correct, and you will recognize their need to heal and to course correct. You talking to me or apologizing to me or anything else like that is not necessary because I already know what you're going through. You already know what I'm going through because when you have that spiritual connection to someone like that, they will not only understand, see, and feel your need to course correct, heal your life and yourself before you can come back to this. They will recognize it, they'll feel it, they'll understand it completely. Okay. Because what my needs are or what your needs are do not trump the needs of someone who needs to heal. So let's say my best friend decides to go, to the mountains for 3 months, without technology. Is that a personal crisis to me that person is choosing to heal? No, because I know that us having the healthy, most beneficial friendship is contingent upon the person being able to heal themselves and course correct themselves. So even though there could be that energy of disappointment or loss or even sometimes grief, you have to know that, anybody that loves you will know and feel your need to heal and course correct. And anybody that you love, you should recognize their need to get on the soul's journey of course correction and self-healing. And not only should you recognize it, it should take precedence over everything else. I can't say, oh, I'm mad at you. You decided to, hike in the mountains for 3 months and not talk to me when I needed you. No, that person knows that in order to pull that personal power back into the body, this is all about what this 18 months is about, pulling the personal power back into the body, course correcting ourselves on our soul's path so that we can be the best in our friendships, the best in our relationships, the best in our marriages, the best in our jobs. We have to recognize when we love someone, their need to heal and course correct, and they have to do the same thing for us. And will not, and you should not assume that that person doesn't love you and that in the future won't tell you what they went through in their dark night of soul or their 3 months in the mountains or whatever it is for us. There are so many people doing this right now, taking that, mini personal sabbatical and disappearing within themselves, whether it's, in the mountains or in the forest or at the ocean, they're disappearing into themselves so that they can course correct. Okay. So if that person truly loved you to begin with, that person will be back when they've unfrozen themselves out of the fear to change their life, their surroundings, and course correct. And if you love someone, their course correction and their happy, joyous soul journey is more important to you than not talking for 3 months, or more important to you, should be more important to you than not having their friendship, or someone to go out on a date with, or someone to sit with in the theater. Okay, so many people have made a choice, a specific choice about their direction last year, and this year it's time for the movement of that choice. It's time to overcome external obstacles in your plan, that beautiful plan of my new fiery direction, our hive mentality, what serves the passion, growth, and love of this planet, not what is logical for this planet. Okay, this planet doesn't survive on logic. Okay, you don't survive on logic. You survive on love. Okay, and joy and peace and harmony. When people disappear, it's because they need to find their own internal love, their own internal joy, their own internal peace, and their own internal harmony. Know that that does not mean that someone doesn't care about you or someone doesn't love you. Recognize the importance of this and be supportive. And sometimes we support, from 5,000 miles away, okay? But don't yank your support and your love from someone because they're going within in order to do what they need to do. If you love someone, recognize in that other person as they will recognize in you, what does Tina need to take care of in her life so that we are healthy when we come together. Okay. The last thing I want to say, which kind of goes in with all of this, I don't usually write that much stuff down, but man, that bee attack was like right over the edge. And that is so bizarre. Okay, that was not my business partner, Danny, that pulled in the driveway, but he drives the exact same truck and even looks like him. That is so bizarre. He is probably a decade younger. Neither here nor there. Whoever it is has been sitting in the driveway for a really long time. That's kind of weird. Anyway, whatever it is you want to offer to yourself, to your dreams, to your own reality, you can't worry about what if it doesn't go right. If you want it, you go after it. As simple as you go into a restaurant. This is the perfect analogy, right? I go into a restaurant. I say, you know what? I want a cheeseburger, medium well, a french fry, and a coleslaw. Okay. And then once I've ordered it, I go back to talking to the person across the table. I get on my phone. Maybe wander around and talk to people at different tables. I'm pretty social. Sometimes that happens. Um, but I don't worry about my hamburger getting screwed up. I don't worry about my french fries being cold. Okay. I don't worry about salmonella in my coleslaw because if I do, that means I'm creating it. Life should be as easy as going to a restaurant and placing your order. The thing is, you have to know that it's coming the way you ordered it as easily as you placed it. Here's what I ordered for dinner. It's coming. Here's the partner I ordered. It's coming. I don't need anxiety. I don't need overthinking. I don't need my brain running amok with logic. Why is this not working? Why isn't this going this way? Why haven't I heard from this person? Go to a restaurant, you order what you want, and you wait. You entertain yourself until dinner shows up for you. Okay. Same thing when you order the perfect job and you are magnetizing and pulling in that perfect job, that perfect partner, you already placed your order. You have to know that it's coming, regardless of reality. Another phantom situation. Whatever you want, you have to offer it to someone. Whatever you want, you have to order it from that person, from yourself, from the universe. You have to be what you want. Whatever it is that you want, you need to offer it, you need to order it without thinking about how it could be screwed up, how long it's going to take, how long am I going to be out in the cold, when will this manifestation ever happen, is this manifestation going to ever happen, have I lost my ability to manifest, and all the other crazy things that run through the lizard brain, okay, when we want something. How we stop that is we order it. How we stop it is we ask for the date. We ask for the job interview. We ask for the house of our dreams. Maybe we ask to go up, knock on someone's door and say, I'd love to help you with your yard. Whatever it is that you want, you have to order it. Okay. And many, many, many of us are ordering it. The problem then comes as we don't take it so lightly as ordering a cheeseburger and fries and say, you know what? I ordered my dinner. I have zero doubts that it's going to come. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? I never have a problem with my food. I never send food back because I order it and I expect it. It's the same with your relationships, your jobs, whatever it is that you want. Okay. But part of that is you do have in the back of your mind, in the back of your brain, some logical fear. Well, what if this person says no? Or, what if? No logic. Order it and know it's coming. Offer it and know it's coming. Okay. You have to decide for you what is success, what is victory, and where is your matching energy in life, and only give energy to people, places, and things that are the matching frequency for the majority of your time. And that's the kicker or the thing I want to reiterate. Okay. We all do things sometimes that we have to do that aren't exactly pleasant or we don't want to do. The majority of your time, the majority of your energy is asking you to make a judgment in the seat of your soul. Okay. Where are you going? What do you want? What is passionate? What feels like the future? And most importantly, not to be over dramatic, but what can't I live without? What friendship, what relationship, what pond, what body of water, whatever it is for you. What is it in my life that I can no longer be out in the cold from? Who is it in my life that I can no longer be out in the cold from? What is it that I must order from the person or from the universe and know is coming? What offer do I need to make myself and people and my surroundings so that I can get exactly what it is that I want? Make it official, okay? Make yourself the official authority on your life. The energy of Libra was playing the negotiator, the peacemaker. How is this going to affect every single person at my job when I make this decision? How's this going to affect my family or my fortune or my finances when I make this decision? I'm sorry, guys. You have to say, fuck the external. Aries energy. What am I going to do? Where am I going to want to go? It's all about me, 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 or in your case, you. Not the hive mentality. Let go of the lizard brain and get out of the logic because everyone knows that there are things, they're different for every people that, you know what, for me, I don't want to live without being able to swim in water. I actually am looking at moving somewhere where I can swim more months out of the year because I don't feel like I can cram enough swimming into, 90 days or 100 days or whatever it is we have in Ohio. What is it in physical reality? Not that I can't live without, but I can't imagine living without swimming. What is it? What are the people, places, and things that I just don't want to be separated from? Make that decision, make your plan, and say screw it to anybody in your external reality. We're out of it. Taking one for the team. We're out of trying to make our family happy, our jobs happy, our children happy. Even some of you have major challenges going on with your children. I'm aware of that as well. Okay. It's about you. We spend enough time in the energy of everyone else. I love you. Thank you for being here. I am going to stick to my word and take myself out for dinner. I'm going to order it, and I know it's going to come exactly like I wanted to, exactly like I ordered it, just like everything else that is now showing up for me and is now showing up for you in your life. Order what you want and know it's coming. Until next time, I love you. And thank you for being here. If you are interested in personal assistance, whether that's tarot, intuitive guidance, any of that stuff, you can see the pinned Facebook page. At the top of my Facebook, you can see the post about different reading offerings. I have a ton of people who don't want something that's exactly on there. I had to be able to break it down in a way that kind of assesses how much time it takes me to do these readings before I speak to you and how much time it takes me to do after I speak to you. Um, so yes, If you want something that's not on there, just message me. It's on there to give you a brief guideline of what I do. The tarot special where we get on here and chat for 1 hour for $50 still stands. You can ask unlimited questions. We can do whatever it is you want to do. If you want that, you can comment here or reach me through my Facebook page. Directly message me. Okay, I'm starving. I'm taking myself to dinner. Love you. Bye-bye.